That's what I didn't hear, people. Oh. Scared you, Mom? Scared her?
No, it was just since you were excited when it happened.
Wow.
I told you it's right up in my face.
Johnny, no talking.
He's right up in my face.
Johnny, no talking.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. Don't worry, people. It's my dad. It's my mom's partner in the background. Having things to say. We're going to get started. Today is a very special day. As you can see, the backdrop has been changed because I was like, I don't think my mom wants to be up in my face like that. In the podcast room, it's a little bit different, a little bit closer, so we changed it. So hopefully you can see us good, and you're going to enjoy this one because we're about to talk about some things. Huh,
Yeah.
we're going to talk about some things. So now you get to see my beautiful mom
Hello.
live, close, and in person. So, Mom, I'm sure there's some people that did not get an opportunity to watch the other episode where we talked initially. So, people, this is part 2. And by the way, you're going to have to hit the subscribe button in order to get notifications and know that you
hit that button.
Yes, hit it. Because unapologetically, D, yes, my cat is here. He's part of the production crew. Unapologetically, D. The podcast where we have real people telling real stories, and the goal is always to make a real impact. So, Mom, can you please introduce yourself to the people?
Well, my name is Dorothyetta Marie Bell. I go by Dot for a lot of reasons. The main reason was because when my little brother was little, he could not say my name, and he came out with Dot. It stuck.
Okay.
So I love it.
And it works, people. It works. All right. So you've got her name. You know that we've already done part 1 of my mom's story. This one is going to be a different focus. We're going to touch more on her walk and her faith, but we are also going to talk about her journey with lupus, which at the end of the last podcast, I mentioned that this was such an important story and a standalone story that I truly felt like we should have a separate podcast, a separate episode. Yeah. So that's what we're doing, people. We're having a separate episode. We are also going to talk about my mom's true and honest opinion, feeling about some of the choices and relationships that I had in my earlier years because, yeah, she knew. I, on the other hand, not so much. So, Mom, let's get into this conversation. We're going to start off with your journey with lupus. Okay. So, can you please explain to the people what type or types of lupus you have?
Well, unfortunately, when I was diagnosed with Discoid and systemic, which affects the outer and your inner. So I happen to be blessed with both.
Okay. So to help you understand a little bit more about what my mom just described as the 2 different types of lupus that she has, I'm going to put something down below. You'll be able to see a full medical description when she said the exterior and the interior. There'll be a full medical description below so that you are aware of what this horrible disease is. So you were first diagnosed with lupus, but you had been feeling a certain way and having symptoms for quite some time.
Oh, yes.
Before you were diagnosed.
Oh, yes.
So when were you diagnosed, and when would you say you were having those symptoms and those feelings?
Let's see, let's go back to the symptoms. I started having symptoms. I was losing my hair. It wasn't funny, but I had enough to cover because I had a great big bald spot right in the center of my head. And I went to see my endocrinologist, and he said, Doc, I think you have male pattern baldness. And I said, what? He said, yeah, I think that's what it is. So I think what we should do is get you some what is that stuff they spray in your head?
Like monoxin,
Monoxide.
deal. Or something?
Yes, minoxidil or whatever it was.
Yeah, yeah.
And so I'm using this stuff and it wasn't doing a thing. So then I went back to him and I said, no. And not only that, I had rashes on my skin that were like crazy. But I remember I had gone on a mission trip and to Africa. I came back, I was sick. I had stomach problems and I had the skin thing going on and I was tired and still the thing in my head and still no diagnosis. And then I went with your sister to her track meet in Vegas, Reno. And I came back and I was, well, while we were down there, I developed these sores on my tongue, mouth sores. And so anyway, I couldn't eat. So then I got back and your dad was at work and I said, I need to go to the hospital, go to the emergency care, go somewhere. And I thought, oh, I don't want to go to the hospital because I know I'll just sit there and sit there and sit there in the emergency room for the longest time. And so I said, okay, let me go to the emergency care. I go to the emergency care and they have no idea. Then I went home and your dad came home the next day. I said, honey, we got to go to the hospital. I went to the hospital. I remember going in and once again, these sores that were all over my mouth, but not only was it the sores, it was like a burn on my neck. It wasn't a burn, it was part of the lupus, but it was raised. So it looked like I had taken, or somebody had taken a curl iron and just went zzz on my neck. And I had rashes and of course the hair loss still. And I go in and I remember there were like 10 doctors in my room at one time and they were all looking at me and they had no idea what was wrong with me. They just said, well, we're going to give her pain pills and we don't know what's wrong. And I remember my good friend Della, came to the hospital because your dad called and she came in the room and she prayed for me. And she said that she looked at those doctors and they looked like there was no hope and that I was going to die because they had no idea what was wrong with me. So once again, I go home. I went to Africa again, sick again, came home, and it was time for me to get my monthly shot from my gynecologist. So I go in and I was sick. And Dr. Glendo said, yeah, something is really wrong with you and you need to go see your doctor. Don't go home, go right across the street. I'm calling him now. So I go over and my doctor happened to be a good friend of ours too. And he said, Doc, he said, I am gonna have my partner who happened to be a internal medicine guy that worked in the same office with him come in and look at you. So he came in and he's looking at me. Mind you, once again, I still had all these things going on with my body. And he said, do you know anybody with lupus? And I said, well, yeah, but the doctors tell her she don't have it. So yeah, I do. I know about it because I've been to her appointments with her. And he said, well, I think that may be what's going on with you. And I said, what? And he said, yeah, I think that's it. So I remember your sister was in college. You and Derek, I think you're still staying with us. I think. And so he said, I am not a person that can take care of this, but I'm going to talk to your doctor and I know he knows somebody that can do it. So that was in, gosh, what year did Serena graduate? Let me see, 19 or I don't know. It's
like 1997.
Yeah, something
or
like
8,
that. And I had been dealing with the symptoms for like 20 years and they just didn't know what was wrong with me. So sure enough, I went to see Dr. Karkin, who I've been seeing now for over 30 years, I guess. She is absolutely the best. she did a bunch of tests on me, and she came back and she says, Doc, she said, you know, you definitely have both types of lupus, but you also have fibromyalgia, and that's why you're so sore at certain times and people touch you and it's like, ooh, and you have rheumatoid arthritis, which goes along with all of this. And I was like, okay, yeah. So that was 19 or 90, I don't know, something like that.
97, 98.
Yeah.
Derek's 1 or 2.
Yeah. And so I it, it was it was shocking, to say the least. So yeah, so I've been
Mhm.
dealing with it since then.
For a long time.
Yeah.
And to have those symptoms and to not have anybody be able to diagnose you and
Yes.
have people looking at you
Yes,
like you.
like I'm crazy.
Yeah, I'm sure that wasn't.
Oh yeah, because they said, oh, it's all in her head. Yeah, okay. Hmm.
And back then, lupus wasn't like people weren't as educated on
Right.
lupus back then as they are
Right.
now. And I feel like even now, there's still so much that people need to
Yes.
learn on it.
Yes.
Because it's such a complex disease, and with the both different types, it affects people differently.
Yes.
It really
Everybody's
does
case
affect
is
people
different.
differently, and you've interacted with people from all different walks of life that unfortunately are affected by
Yes.
lupus. Um, what would you say like were some of the biggest challenges that you had in the early years after being diagnosed for you physically, emotionally, and then also that could have maybe affected you with your fate?
Physically, it was accepting that the things that I was able to do before this diagnosis, I was not going to be able to do them as I was, or it was going to change how I did it. Um, Emotionally, it messed with my head. And because of the fact that I was like, okay, how am I going to tell my husband, my daughters, that I have this incurable disease and how it's going to affect them? That was the thing that hit me the hardest, was because I was so um afraid of how it was going to affect you guys. And some of it I kind of stuffed my feelings about it down because I was concerned about you guys. And so I didn't quite deal with all of it right away. And so it yeah, it was just hard. Now, spiritually, if I hadn't leaned on God before, I was definitely leaning on him then, because I knew from the moment that I got diagnosed with this disease, it was going to be a fight. And either I was going to let the devil win and let him steal and rob my joy, or I was going to fight. And I chose to fight. I just said, I started doing research about it. I tried to find out everything that there was, things that I could change, possible things. I didn't want to take all the different medications that I had to. And so it was like, okay, what can I do? So spiritually, I I leaned on God, and and I had some verses that I just said, I'm just gonna memorize them. I'm going to lean on them, and um, you know, I chose to believe God's word. That's the bottom line. I just chose to believe that I was going to be healed, and and whatever I had to go through, He was going to be right there with me, walking with me.
That's facts, because let me tell you, people, she is the strongest woman that I know, because the cards that you've been dealt, They're not the greatest people. They're really not. And I understand that a lot of people in this world have issues and problems, but this is my mom we're talking about. So yes, 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 yes. Was there a time, even with your faith, that you felt like, yeah, this is not really working for me and I need to like, I feel like I need to give up? Or that you, in that moment where you might have felt like you wanted to give up, you said, no, I'm going to push forward?
There was the times that I can think of are when I would have really bad flare-ups and they would keep me down for a week or two, a little bit longer.
Mm-hmm.
Because I couldn't do the things that I normally did as far as taking care of my household, as far as making food for my husband, as far as taking care of myself, as far as being there for you guys, being there for my grandson, doing things with him. Um, that part right there, it got me more than making sure that myself was okay.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think I have always been one that I take care of others a
Mm-hmm.
lot more sometimes than I take care of myself. And I think that that's the part that really got me. And yeah, I remember laying in the bed. Oh, praise God. My grandson, even when I was not feeling well,
Mm-hmm.
he brought light and joy. And he would come and say, okay, Grandma, let's play this. Let's do this.
Mm-hmm.
While I'm laying in the bed.
Mm-hmm.
And me not feeling well enough to really do it, I still did it.
Mm-hmm.
Because he came in and he said, come on, Grandma, let's do this. Now, you were there. Your dad was there. He could have went and asked y'all to do it. But he came in the room
Mm-hmm.
with me. And let's play monsters. Let's play my Power Rangers.
Mm-hmm.
Let's play this guy fight this guy. We did it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna tell you, at times with the arthritis in your hands, holding things was not the easiest things, but I held those things and we fought and we fought and we had a good time.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I know that with, and then when my other grandchildren came along, I know for a fact that having them has helped me to face things that I have to face every day because I want to be here for them.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be here for them, and I don't just want to be here. I want to be in good health for them.
Mm-hmm.
So,
because they ain't having it any other way.
yeah,
You know, Derek say, Mom, okay, Grandma, we don't have time for the games, Grandma.
ain't no time for that.
Yeah, we don't got time for that.
No,
We don't got
no,
time
no.
for that. And you know, he know, and now, because he was just married.
Yes, yes, yes.
At the end of this week, it will be 2 weeks
Yes.
of her grandson, my son, being married.
Yes.
And they're gonna make some grandbabies and great grandbabies for
Yes.
us. And my mom's not gonna have it any other way. She
Nope.
needs to be around for all of it.
Yep.
So now you're gonna have even more reasons.
Yes.
So I didn't say this in the beginning of this episode, people, but this is the warrior within, because like I say, my mom is the strongest woman that I know. So let's lean into that. How would you describe, Mom, what it truly means to be a warrior, especially living not only with lupus, but all of the other things that you...
Things come into your life, people come into your life, people leave your life. If you do not know who you are, when those things happen, you will just be sad, depressed, and not know how to move on.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be strong in your faith, strong in your mind, and know that no matter what, you're loved. And the people that do love you, those are the ones that matter.
Mm-hmm.
Those other ones, as far as I'm concerned, they can kick rocks. So there you go. I just know that for me, I have to keep it moving and being strong. And I'm not saying you got to be pushy or anything like that, but being strong and knowing I got this.
Mhm.
I got this.
Yeah. Yeah. That's so I have a little bit of a balance between my mom and my dad. My dad is very chill, but when he needs to, fam, I think we might talk about a little bit on his episode, which that means you would have to subscribe and like and actually get the notification. So why don't you do that
Yeah.
right now? Hit the subscribe, hit the subscribe. But I'm a mixture. My mom, she will tell you like it is, and she has
Yeah.
no problems doing it. So when I need to pull that, I pull that. And when I need to woosah, I pull from my dad's side. So yeah, I mean, because having all those different things, and but like you said, you have many, many reasons as to why you want to carry forward.
Yes.
And so with your kids and your
And
dad
count on
and
my hand. Let me count some more.
Mhm.
Derek, add two.
He's gonna. We sure we're gonna. So we talked about it before, your faith, and it's definitely played a part in helping you through flare-ups, which I'm going to put this information below, but Mom, can you give just a quick description of what a flare-up might include for you?
Okay. Well, first off, you're definitely tired.
Okay.
You have absolutely no energy and you can't fight it.
Mm.
You can try, but your energy is just zapped.
Mhm.
You can get rashes, and the rashes could come all over. You get at my cheeks are red most of the time, most of the days in my life, but they get really red, and then you can get the sores in your mouth. You can get the bald spots coming. You can get little hives, um, and your joints they ache.
Mm.
They ache, and then you get the inflammation,
Mhm.
and you want to get up, and you can lose your appetite. You don't feel like eating, but you know you have to eat, and it's like,
Mhm.
oh gosh. So yeah, it it's not fun. It's not fun, and the flare-ups can last anywhere from a week, 2, 3, a month. It just depends. It
Mhm.
depends on how severe it is. Fortunately for me, praise the Lord for me, I have not had to be admitted to the hospital for a long stint of time. I have just had the flare up and been at home,
Mhm.
and that's been it.
Because sometimes people do definitely have
Oh
to
yeah.
get admitted to
Oh
the
yeah.
hospital.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And see, the thing is when you have when the internal is there, when you're having a flare up, it messes with your heart, your kidneys, your lungs. It can just destroy
Mhm.
your body.
Because your body's basically attacking itself.
Yes,
Yes.
that's exactly what it is, and it's like, okay, I'm here with you fighting. You don't need to do all that, but that's what it's doing. It's attacking. It's like your body is just consuming what's inside of you, and that.
Mhm.
Mm-mm.
Mhm. And then when you have the fibromyalgia and the rheumatoid arthritis going
Yeah.
hand in hand with those other two forms of lupus,
Mm-hmm.
it's like your body just
Yeah.
the only thing you can do is rest.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And that's it. And it's like, okay, and you know you get so tired of just sleep, and then it affects your eyes too.
Mm.
The I and you and I forgot. You can get really bad lupus headaches,
Mm.
and it's like a migraine, but it's kind of worse. But the thing is that there's really, I mean, they can give you pain medication for it, but it's still there.
Mhm.
And when you get the lupus headache in the eyes, all you want is darkness.
Mm.
You don't want any light at all
Yeah.
because it just disturbs.
Yeah.
So
So you have to lean on your faith
oh yeah,
and
oh yeah,
your verses.
yeah.
That which fam, I'm gonna ask her for one or two of those
Okay.
verses, which I will put I will put
I mean,
below.
I don't have my purse with me.
That's okay.
Sorry.
We'll make sure that we include
Yeah.
it below, so that you might also be able to lean on those verses, because sometimes you need to have something in
Yeah.
your life to help you get through the dark times, because everybody has to deal with times that are not so easy.
Mhm.
So we're gonna move on to finding purpose in all of the pain that you've
Mhm.
had to endure throughout your life. So what would you say has helped you move on from this really can't be it to this is a part of what my purpose is?
Oh, yeah. I know for me that living with lupus and all the other stuff that goes with it, it doesn't have me. That is part of my life, but it doesn't have me. If I give in and say, oh, yeah, that's me giving up. And I refuse to give up. I know that I have a lot more living to do. I have people in my life, especially my family. Oh, my family. Y'all keep me going. You really do. I know that for me that having love and you guys understanding, there may be days that I am not myself to say, um that it's okay with you guys. And you guys are like, okay, mom, you get your rest, you do what you got to do. I'm good with that. So I think that um knowing that and having, it's kind of like an acceptance thing. um I'm good.
Yeah.
I am good with it.
Yeah. And that's strongest woman I know. Strongest woman I know, because so many people, I think, with different types of ailments or diseases, it's very difficult for them to be able to push forward.
Oh yeah,
And
you're when I first found out, I decided, my doctor suggested that I should find a lupus support group. Your dad and I went to one. We never went back.
yeah.
At that meeting, there was only women there. No men came to support their wives. But the stories that we heard, they were so devastating. How one family, her husband decided, yeah, no, no, you and I can't be married to you.
He bounced.
He divorced his wife. There was another who had just had, she had 2 kids, and her husband, she had had a flare up right after having the baby, and her husband's like, you can get up and take care. I mean, I'm like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, it's so sad.
They blame their wives for being sick. Who asked for this? There ain't a person in the world that would ask to live with lupus. Not one person. It's crazy to me. So we never went back. We never went back. So yeah.
No, and I can remember going to like the lupus run and
Yes.
walk, and also like their kid and you being on like panels and
Yeah.
like things like that at the some of the local hospitals, and there would be people that were all different ages and also races and sex too, not just females. So, but isn't lupus, does it affect a certain demographic of people more so?
More so in blacks, African Americans, yes.
Okay.
It does affect us more, and they have no explanation
As to why.
None whatsoever.
Mm,
It's the devil.
pretty much. That's what it is. That's pretty much what it is. So there's so many things that I know I've seen, which include your story or don't include your story, that have helped somebody else in their journey with healing, or to keep on fighting. So if we were to go into all of it, people, we'd be here for a 9-hour episode. So we're just going to talk about two. We'll talk about two. You want to talk about those two that stick out to you?
One, I think, was at the lupus walk, and there was this little kid, and I think that they were 6, maybe 6 years old. And he walks up, and I thought that the mom was the one, because he was in a stroller, and I thought, that's a big kid in a stroller. Well, he could barely walk.
Oh.
And I was like, oh, I understood. So I came from behind the table, and I asked her, I said, is it all right if I just give him a hug? And she said, yeah. So I give him a hug. And she said, yeah, he's been dealing with it since he was 4 years old. That was the first time that I knew that a kid could have lupus. I did not know that because I thought it was older. And I was like, oh my gosh. And she started telling me his story and how many times he had been in the hospital and how many times the doctor had said that he was not going to live. And he had made it to 6, and that she and her husband, they weren't giving up.
Yeah.
And I said, oh, and I just told her, I said, amen, don't ever give up. Keep fighting for your child. And then she told me how many doses of this he was on, and this and this and that, and I just told her, I said, listen, I know what you're saying. I said, he had the side effects of the medication.
Oh.
That's what got me. But I'm just thinking, this kid has something else. So anyway, the side effects of one of the drugs that you are put on when you are first diagnosed is oh shoot, methylprednisone or prednisone. And methylprednisone is one different, it kind of changes. But the prednisone, when you were first put on it, they have to try to get your lupus under control. So they usually give you a high dose. When I first started, I was on 85, which is a lot of prednisone. Well, with the prednisone, the side effects is you put on weight and
Quickly,
nothing.
right?
Yeah, there's nothing that you can do about it. And you just feel like, okay, I got this going on. Now I got all this weight coming on me. You got weight in your face. And that's where it usually affects you first. It's right in your face. Then it comes on the rest of your body. And this kid, same thing. It was all over him. And I just told the mom, I said, you know what? I said, I am really sorry that this is going on with your son. But I know with you standing and your husband standing behind him, and you guys keep fighting and trying to get him the care that he needs and the medication that he needs, he's going to make it and he's going to do just fine, And it made me feel real good to know that she gave me a great big hug, and she appreciated it.
Yeah.
And anytime I see a kid that has lupus, it just tears my heart up because I know what they go through. And it's like, and as an adult, I'm dealing with it. But a kid, they don't know. And sometimes they don't know how to describe to you what's going on or how they're feeling. So anyway,
Yeah. And there's a lot of kids, unfortunately, that are affected with lupus. Yeah, a lot.
Yeah.
So I'm actually gonna do some.
Okay.
I'll have to edit this out. And we're back. All right. So we were talking about lupus and how it affects so many different people, kids, and that was the story that you said really touched you.
It really did.
Yeah, because you were able to talk to his mom and
Yeah.
help her stay motivated too. So we talked a little bit about, going to the lupus walk. Also, you participating in, well, I mentioned it briefly in like a panel of different people to educate more individuals. I know that there's other things that you've done in the community. Can you talk a little bit about some of the things that you've done?
I was on the lupus board, Pacific Northwest board for 2-3 years. And I got to the place where I love being on the board, but I was having so many stupid flare-ups that I was like, okay, I got to stop, because the meetings, they were in downtown Seattle and I'd had to go, and it wasn't the fact of what we were doing or what my job was on the board. It was just that I sometimes would have to do the Zoom
Mhm.
instead of being there, and it was, I don't think it was Zoom at that time. It wasn't Zoom. I don't know what it was called, but anyway, it was video.
Mhm.
And so yeah, but I really love doing that. Um, I have when I was on the board, I got to share at one of our lupus galas that we had, and that was really special because I shared how um I found out I had lupus and how I told you guys that I had lupus, and in fact, when I found out that I had lupus, I was driving um uh and my doctor said, "Can you pull over to the side of the road?" And I'm like, "Oh, okay." So I did. And he said, "Yeah, I told you the other day, I think this is what you have. And I told you I'd call you and tell you for sure." And I said, "Yeah." And he said, "Well, yeah, that's what you have." And so, yeah, I enjoy helping and working with the committee, the Pacific Northwest Lupus committee that we had. They're still going on.
Mm.
But I had to stop.
Yeah.
So
Because the most important thing is take care of yourself.
yeah, and they all understood.
Of course. Of course they would understand because we're all the people in the board, also people that had lupus or affected by it in some way.
Yes.
Family members.
Let's see. My friend who got me involved with it, uh, Tonita Webb, her mom died from lupus. And so she was telling me, and we had been friends, and come to find out her mom had lupus. And she told me about the board, and I said, "Oh, I'd love to join." And so that's how I got on it. But she was on there, and then Christy was on it. Christy had uh, a different type of lupus. And then, oh, let's see. I'm trying to think. There was a guy, oh gosh, I can't remember his name, but he had lupus. And then there was, oh gosh, I can't remember. It'll come to me, her name. I can't remember, but she has lupus. And yeah, um, did she have both types? I think she did. I can't remember. But yeah, she had lupus. So yeah, everybody that was on the board had some type of tie. Yeah.
Yeah, and if they either have it or are affected by it by a family member or somebody having it, then they
Yeah.
totally understood.
Oh,
needed
yeah.
To
Yeah.
take care of yourself.
Mm-hmm.
For that I know for a fact because I've witnessed it with my own two eyes that you've
Mhm.
learned so many things. But what have you learned about gratitude and perspective through your journey?
Oh, okay. For me, it's hard for me to ask for help.
Mm.
And I have learned that if people offer to just say thank you and just be grateful that somebody is making you a meal, that somebody wants to come and help clean, that somebody just wants to sit with you and to visit with you. And so I'm grateful for people that stuck with me. I'm grateful for people that understand what I'm going through. Um, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Because that's where I get it from. I was gonna try to say it some other type of way, but it's very hard for us Bell women
Yeah.
to accept help. That is
Yeah.
not a bad thing. It is all about a part of being very independent.
Yeah.
But we
Very
need
true.
to learn how to balance.
Yes.
So we have learned
Very
how to
true.
balance, right?
Very, very true.
Balancing is extremely important. So we're going to move on to faith, friendship, and then finding your circle. And this one right here is gonna be really very real. Yeah, it's gonna be real people, because that's another thing. Like I say, my mom, she doesn't have any problems. There's no sugar coating in it.
No.
Okay. All right. So you've always had such a strong faith. What has your experience been like finding friends or finding your circle within your church? And now, mind you, people, my mom and my dad have not always been at the same church. They have been a part of a church family and elders in different churches that they have gone to. So I say that just so that I kind of can give you an idea of what you are about to hear. And
to myself a promise. I won't quit, keep going till I got it. I won't give up till I'm on top.
Yo,
yeah.
no, I ain't the type to give up. If I do something, man, I do it till I get what I want. I turn a business